Bon dia a tothom i anem a començar ultra puntualment, a 2:15, no havia passat mai això. Val? Però intentarem seguir estrictament a l'horari, perquè sempre a les enquestes ens acaba sortint les primeres coses que fem, diu no compliu els horaris. Bueno, mira que això és fàcil, doncs això intentarem fer-ho. Sempre en aquestes jornades el que fem són, anem fent una, com ha comentat el president, més o menys mensualment, en diversos àmbits, sempre fem quelcom semblant, que és primer portar un keynote speaker que ens pugui dir com està això a Europa, després ensenyem les dades de la nostra enquesta d'ocupadors, després fem una taula rodona que està al final i de tot plegat entrem un full molt senzill que són 10 reptes, no és un full, de 10 reptes de què hem de fer el sistema, entenent universitats, ACU, tothom, per millorar aquests estudis a Catalunya, en aquest cas a disseny. Llavors, I will introduce, first of all, in Catalan, and I will go to English. Estem molt contents de tenir la Luisa Collina, que com ha dit és la degana de l'Escola de Disseny de Politécnico de Milano i presidenta d'una de les associacions més rellevants internacionalment en l'àmbit del disseny, que és el Cumulus International Association for Universities and College of Arts, Design and Media. Aquí el Cumulus ja veiem que inclou les universitats i també les College of Arts, que és una mica el sistema italià i el sistema modern similar al que està passant a Catalunya, que tenim títols no només que estan públics i privats en universitats, que depenen d'universitats, però també tenim títols similars, per dir d'una manera, de fet equivalents, segons la llei, que no depenen d'universitats, que en aquest cas depenen d'ensenyament. Això és una mica estrany, perquè entenc que la gent de disseny esteu acostumats i és el món, però quasi només passa aquí, és a dir, només passa en aquest àmbit, en els estudis artístics superiors, no passa psicologia, humanitats, enlloc més. I està bé que altres llocs tinguin la mateixa, no diré problemàtica, la mateixa situació, i que podem tenir reflexió al respecte. Presento la ponent, la Luisa Collina, com és degana de l'Escola de Disseny Universitària del Politécnico de Milà. El 2005 va crear responsable del màster en disseny de sistema producte i servei a Milà, del qual va ser directora 10 anys, del 2005 al 2015. Entre 2012 i 2014 va ser membre del Comitè Assessor Científic i Artístic de l'Escola d'Arts i Dissenys d'Aalto, a Helsinki, Finlàndia. Entre el 13 i el 18 va ser membre del jurat del PIC, un programa de recerca basat i promogut pel Fons de Ciència d'Àustria. Per tant, veieu que ens pot donar visió europea. I també ha coordinat diversos projectes pel 150 aniversari del Politécnico de Milano i per l'Exposició Universal de 2015 i membre del comitè científic de la 20a edició de la Triennal Internacional de Milà del 2016. Paro d'aquí, és igual. És responsable sobretot de l'Associació Internacional Cumulus, que és el que ens interessa. Llavors el que li hem demanat és que ens expliqui sobretot quins són els fonaments del disseny, diguéssim, i cap on va, que això és una mica la nostra voluntat. So, thank you very much for being here. It has been a really pleasure and very easy to contact you. So it has been, for us, it's an honor to have your speech today here. One of the something that maybe you have to understand. I don't know if you speak Catalan, but at least you can understand very quickly. One of the challenges of today is just to have a final draft, a final document with some of the 10, let's say 12 challenge of the design in Catalonia. So many of them will be taken out from our report, but also from your report, and also from the discussion that will be later on. So thank you very much, and please, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that I will try to speak not from the desk. I'm sorry that I will speak in English, and it's Italian English, so with all the mistakes that are related to speaking a foreign language. So as mentioned, I'm Luisa Collina, and since 4 years I'm the Dean of the School of Design of Politecnico di Milano. And in the last 12 years I have been involved International Association, that it's a network of almost 300 schools and universities dealing with design, media, and arts worldwide. I think that probably the reason why I'm here, because of Milan and Barcelona, it's quite twin cities, and with a similar also role, similar identity, and also because I'm quite fond of, I think that it's very important to have international perspectives and views, and so I think that I can bring also some of my experience at international level. I will present, the presentation will be at the beginning divided into three parts. At the beginning, more about the reality of Politecnico di Milano, the institution that I represent. The second part will be more about the challenges that I see in design education. I have to say that it could be a very long list. Our everyday duties and work, it's a challenge from my point of view. Please remember that Politecnico is a state university, so we have to deal every day with constraints and not only financial constraints, but also other kinds of constraints. And the last part will be about our roots. So even if we have to transform and to change our design education day by day, I think that we have to keep some elements that are the traditional elements of identity of our discipline. And I think that it's important also to keep it different in each country, so that we are not globalizing design education. This is our reality. This is the the headquarters of Politecnico. So as I mentioned, a technical university and a state university. We started in 1863, so it has been founded as a school of engineering. Then the School of Architecture has been added in 1926, and more recently, in 1993, we started with the first study courses and study program in design. So this is a typical Italian paradox, but I think that here it's not so different. Italy, that it's quite famous for design. Until 1993, design was not in state universities. It was offered only in private schools outside the university system. So Politecnico, we think that we arrived late, but we were the first one in all Italy starting with the program. And at the beginning, in 1993, it was inside the School of Architecture, and then in year 2000, it became independent, School of Design, separated from the School of Architecture that I lead at the moment. We are big, high number of students, so we are not this nice, small, elitarian design schools. Inside the system with 40,000 students, 1,300 professors, PhD and administrative staff. So if you can see the relationship between students and professors, you immediately understand that we are a state university. So, and that in some kinds of rankings we will never succeed. So in any case, it's impossible. We even don't. We are not able to compete. One where ratio between the students and professors, that it should be much lower. Here it's how we are divided. The biggest amount of students is enrolled in the School of Engineering, then the School of Architecture. But we have around 4,000 now. We grew a little bit, around 4,000 students enrolled in the School of Design, with approximately 100 faculty members. And we can say that we are graduating almost 45% of all designers in Italy, approximately. We are, the number went over. We are, as I mentioned, with the number of professors is not so high. We are strongly involving professional designers into design education. So here you can see how much credits. We have approximately 350 contract professors, professionals that are coming to university just to deliver some courses. If you think that we have 100 in-house academics professors, we have this kind of ratio. of course, they are teaching less than an academic. So if you look to the number of credits, approximately half of them are covered by academics and half of them by contract professors. So it's, I know that it could be seen as a weakness, but we also like to keep probably a similar ratio. So we think that professional designers can really add a lot to our design education. And we think that it's important that we continue to build the bridge between university and professional. It is also due to the placement that we have to assure to our students. This is what we call our design journey. We start with selection. Quite a high number of students would like to be enrolled at Polytechnic. We have 5,000 applications, or approximately, not approximately, because we have a fixed number of places, 950 places at the first year of bachelor. So here we have this entry test, and at bachelor level we have 4 programs that are very, I say traditional, but in a good way, so very established in the field of communication design, interior design, product design, fashion design. Very clear, very simple. And as you can see, we have a real outcome. Let's say students, it's not some colleagues. So as I said, some colleagues of engineering, they adopted the famous Bologna system 3+2, but they are the first ones saying that it's quite fake. Let's say most of the students are studying for 5 years. In design, we adopt it in a real way. So you can see that students are really going out and they go to work or go somewhere else. And only a very small stream is going on, enrolling inside Politecnico at master's level. And then we have a bigger flows of new entry of students with a bachelor that from other universities or international students enrolled in our master's program. And the master's program, it's quite wider. So we have the same 4 dots, so we are continuously in product communication, in interior and fashion, but with a larger perspective, more systematic approach, so advanced way to look to the same disciplines. Plus, we added the yellow dot, that it's a product service system design, so everything related to the intangibility of service design that I had the pleasure and the honor to found it in year 2005. And it has been the first master's course taught in English in all Italy, in design in all Italy. Product service system design, then we add the blue dot is design and engineering, similar to Elisava. And the last one that we started 3 years ago, it's in digital and interaction design. And then, of course, we have a PhD program or advanced professional other courses and masters. So this is our system. And so we can, just to sum up some figures, we are quite young. So as a school, as I mentioned, we are founded in year 2000, quite big, because 4,000 students, there are not so many design schools that have this kind of size worldwide. We are, in any case, selective, so it's not because there is a small percentage of students that can enter in our school. We are impactful because we are covering almost half of the professional designers in Italy. We are international with approximately 30% of our students at master's level are international. And we think that at least at master's program, we really work to innovate them. But I would like to share more the focus on the bachelor level, as the day today is more focused on that. This is our rankings. The rankings as university, we are now approximately 149 worldwide. And as the School of Design, in the last ranking of QS, we were 6th. And we were 5th in 2018, 7th in 2017, so this is the area. Why I show it not only, of course, I'm happy and proud about that, but because the QS ranking by subject, art and design, is based on two main criteria, and both are reputation. One is academic reputation, and the second criteria is the employer's reputation. So it's related to the topic of today. And of course, for us, it's always difficult to compete with other competitors. In some cases, it's the brand of university, because not all of them have really strong universities in design, but of course, if you look to MIT, to Royal College, so it's very difficult. They are all the first five positions are Anglo-Saxon university with the English as mother language, and they are all private. So I think I always say that we have to work double, 3 times the other to try to keep the position, not thinking that we can go really, really up. This is the Italian system. So nowadays we have 16 different universities offering design degree programs, and 1 online university based in Rome. And we are offering the whole system. We have a sort of coordination of this system. We are offering 21 bachelor study courses and 23 master courses in all Italy. Plus, some of them are also offering the PhD. And then, like you, we have the AFAM system, Alta Formazione Artistica Musicale. That is the degree offered by the design schools in Italy. I don't have the map about this because it's quite different and with a lot of different actors. This is the figures. As I said, Milan is quite bold, and these are the number of graduates. The source is not really, it's 2014, but in any case, how many graduates we have in all Italy. That's the reason why, because I'm focalizing more on Milan, not because of course, the reality that I know better, but also because in any case it's a good test, a good point of view in order to understand also the national system. This is the network of the different universities offering design programs. There is a website, and there are some reports that you can download if you want to know the Italian system at national level. This last report is from 2016, but we are constantly updated. And every year, Politecnico is doing a survey, like the one that you will present, about the employability of our graduates. So even these are free to be downloaded. This that I will present figures from 2019 and are related to the interviews done to our graduates that graduated 1 year after graduation. So that's the reason why it's about students that graduated in 2017. And so I have to wait 1 year, and then we interview them in order to understand in that year if they got a job or not. Here are some figures, and I'm always comparing my school with the schools of engineering and architecture. And as you can see, mainly, normally, design it's between these two realities. Here it's, I didn't translate everything, but these are the bachelor graduates. These are the Master of Science graduates, but Italian. And these are the international Master of Science graduates. Why do we separate them? Because always we want to see if the international students perform like the Italian students, or if they are facing more difficulties, or if they are performing better than Italians. And so here you can see that 4 different years. So there are some minor changes. Of course, engineering has always very high percentage of employability, 95%, approximately. It's always around 95% for bachelor, and similar for master. Design, it's around 80% at bachelor level and around 90% at master's level. So we are performing better at master's level. And architecture is always, often lower than design. So, of course, architecture is strongly related to the construction sector, and with all the different peaks and crises of the construction sector. Design, it's a little bit more neutral, has a stronger link to the industrial realities, and so it's less, let's say, related to the economic situation of construction. Engineers, they have a almost full employability. I think that the one that are missing, they continuously studying, or they decided to have 1 year off to travel around the world. Unfortunately, I have the son of some friends that he graduated in engineering at Politecnico, and he decided to have a trip around the world for 1 year. And said, "But you are destroying our our service. Thanks to you, we will go down because we are covering a very high number of interviews." So even his experience, I said, "Go back and find a job immediately. Otherwise, we are really entering into trouble." And so just to this is just to give you some more beautiful figures. We can see how many are employed after 1 year after graduation, and we can see the figures of design. So they are not so bad, but in any case, at bachelor level, we are less good at bachelor and master's level. And there was this very small decreasement. We were 84%, and last survey we were 81%. That we can perform better. Here it's how after 6 months after graduation, and this is immediately when they graduate. So you can see that at master's level in design, half of the students, when they graduate, they already have a job. And it's not the same at bachelor level. There is an explanation, because at master's level, it's compulsory to have an internship. Otherwise, they don't graduate, and the internship, it's a very strong link towards a job. But so we are thinking. I'm right now after these first 4 years of deanship, where I focus my attention more on the master's level. Now, in the last 2 years of deanship, I would like to focus on the bachelor, and so. We are trying to discuss whether to introduce the internship at the bachelor level, but to introduce it twice, to have twice the same experience for students is a sort of competition. So we should try to understand if it's better to divide them and to see the students that won't enroll in a master's program, they could go to an internship. And the one that will continue in education, they will probably need to do a more academic experience. Here it's which kind of contract they are getting, if they are employed or if they are freelance. So this is the students that are employed, the graduates that are employed. As you can see, the figures are much stronger and higher than architecture. In architecture, there is still a very strong tradition of freelance, small architectural offices. And here it's how much they earn per month. Of course, it's difficult to compare because it depends also of the cost of life in Milan. But just to give, it's easy to compare between the different schools and the different branches. So engineers are earning a little bit more, designers in the middle, and architects a little bit less. What is interesting, and I found important, that if the job market recognizes the value and the difference of master's graduate in comparison to bachelor graduates. Here you can see the difference. Architecture master students, they earn less than a bachelor student. So you said, come on, probably somebody does also some jokes about that, but I will avoid to share them in public. In engineering, there is a difference, but it's not so much. It's less than almost 90 euros per month. So it's important for me because the job market at the beginning of the 3+2 Bologna system was not ready to understand the difference. In design, it seems that they have clear in mind the different levels of graduation. This is a kind of contract, if it's a permanent contract, a temporary apprenticeship, or internship, or other. And so we can see that in design, that it's always the pink one, we have 62% of permanent contracts. That in a moment of high instability, a lot of students are thinking of an uncertain future. I think that it's quite an interesting figure. And this is 62 for, this is international, sorry, master, 40% for Italian, and less for bachelor. It was interesting to see that international students are earning more than Italian students. Some of them, they are going back to other countries, or they're going abroad, and I'm happy that they are getting an interesting job. So this is, if we want to focus on the design, these are the main figures, and this is, I know that it's boring, but this is the history year after year from 2011 to 2017. So you can see that at bachelor level that it's quite a little bit of up and down. In Italy we had a strong crisis in 2012, so there is mainly in all situations this kind of gap, and then we go up in the last years. This is fashion design, interior, product, and communication. So we enter a little bit more deeper into the reality of my school in order to show if there are some differences between the different areas of design. This it's a focus on bachelor, how much they earn, and these are the different amount for communication, for fashion, for interior, and for products. So you can see that, for example, fashion, I want to understand better why, the reason why. The students are, graduates are earning less than in the other fields of design. Interior, it's always a little bit close to when you go, I'm an architect, I've graduated as an architect and I have a PhD in architecture. So I'm fond about architecture when I say that. But if you go close to the field of architecture, then you risk a little bit to have a reduction of your salary. You can see the dimension of the company where they work, and mainly companies that are between 1 and 250 employees, 80%, a smaller amount, 8% for bigger companies that are with more than 100,000 employees. And mainly they work in Italy, 93%, and only 6% in Europe. These are the freelance, they are earning a little bit more, and they work mainly in Italy, just a few in Europe. This is the situation at master's level, just to show you that we have higher figures and quite stable figures. And so they earn more, they are working in bigger realities. It's interesting, this shift towards bigger organizations, and it's higher the percentage of graduates that are working outside Italy. So they are starting to have a more international exposure. And these are the freelance, how much they earn. And this is for each different branch. And you can see that in fashion, they grow highly. From bachelor to master, the income change quite a lot. And I have to say that the more recent programs that are the one dealing with design and engineering and product service system design are the ones that are performing better in terms of salaries. So product service system, 1,820 euros per month. It's quite a good result. This is the level of satisfaction, because I don't know if it happened to you, when you present this data, that in any case they are quite interesting and positive data. There is everybody saying, yeah, but what they are doing, they are going to work in a pizzeria, or they're just serving coffee in the bar, etc. Then we always, every year, we are asking how much there is a relation between what they are doing and the degree they have, and how much the grade of satisfaction in relation to what they study. And here you can see the satisfaction in relation to their studies in design, that in any case it's between 80 and 89%, and this is the coherency between their job and their studies, and it's very high at master's level, 68% at bachelor level. And here you can see that there are quite some differences within the different branches of design. So I think it has been interesting to prepare this speech, because this will be the base also for our study, because I want to understand better this figure about 68% in order to try to raise it, because it's not bad, but it should be better. So this is the key question. Are we satisfied with these figures? Quite satisfied for master's level, not so satisfied for bachelor level. I think that we have to do some improvements. I don't know the right question, so I'm not here to share some really key answers, but more some doubts. And I will have time from now to October, November, to think if we can adjust a bit the future degree, because our timing is like that. So this is another way to look to our journey. And so here you can see all the high schools, which are the students that we enroll. These are the different programs. And so you can see that why, for me, it's important the bachelor, because in any case, the relation between bachelor and master is quite different. And so there are strong, high numbers of graduates at bachelor level that have to enter in the job market. And normally, they are not the strongest student, are the one that we cannot admit them at master's level. And so they are a little bit more fragile, they have a lower level of education, and so we need really to support their employability. And so I think that this is the area we have to work. I'm not sure if we have to change a lot these dots, probably not, because I think that for the first level of higher education, it's important to have a clear picture, not to, here it's a little bit more mixed up, but it's more at advanced level, so it's, we can do it, but at bachelor level, probably the areas will be almost the same, but probably we should go and enter inside these areas. So at master's level, we work on moving to intangible design, to service design, to product service system, UX design, social innovation, something that we didn't do at bachelor level. Of course, sustainability is a point that we introduce in all levels of our school. And we moved also towards data visualization and digital and interaction design. So at master level, okay. So which are the challenges that we have to face? Then there are big challenges that are probably challenges for all of us. One is related to sustainability, of course, the fact that each goal is broad. It's across national border, it goes across disciplinary border, so how to train future professionals to work in team, to face complex, wide problems that are different from the past. Globalization, competitivity. In the past, universities were competing probably at national level. Now we are all competing at a global level in order to attract the best student. And also organizations, companies, they are competing, and our graduates have to compete with graduates coming from another continent, very far away, and sometimes they are really motivated and they had to face a change of life, moving to Europe to study. So it's important that we have to keep in mind this kind of dynamics. And Europe in this situation doesn't seem to have a primary role at a political level. So we risk more and more to have a minor role. Technology is shaping our everyday life, entering in our body, entering in our daily life, in our environment, and we have to prepare, train our students to manage, to face technology, but to keep a strong relationship with human-centered design, so with our being human and individuals, and also the ethical impact of this technology. It's important to keep it into account. Social trends. There is we in Italy for sure, in the US for sure, I don't know how it's in Spain, we assist to a growing lack of trust in higher education. In 2013, I was in San Francisco attending a conference, and I asked to Chris Anderson about the future of universities, and he said, my son and my daughter are studying at university, my grandsons and my granddaughters may not. So probably the idea, I know that North American university system is very different, quite very expensive, very exclusive from a really economical point of view, so it's different from European, but for sure there is a lack of trust in being an expert, in expertise. About each kind of topic, the position of the expert is the same as the position of somebody that is not an expert in a field. And so this is, from my point of view, a quite significant challenge that we have to face. There are some, and all these challenges have supported a wide debate about higher education. You know that Institute for the Future of Dell many years ago estimated that around 85% of the jobs that today's learners will be doing in 2030 haven't been invented yet. This is a famous quote by Institute for the Future. Recently, Forbes, Derek Newton said that this is a myth, that probably it's not like that, it's more stable than it was foreseen by Dell, by Institute for the Future. Probably, so I quite agree with Derek Newton, but in any case he says that even if it's more stable, both students and university have to invest in good foundations, strong foundation with soft skills of the liberal arts, such as critical reading, communication, creativity, and collaboration. So even if I think that the job market is more stable than this idea of continuously changing, a strong grounding, strong foundation, and strong soft skills are important for our graduates to face the future developments of the job market. This, of course, has an impact and consequences. More and more you give strong groundings and strong soft skills, you don't specialize them too much. And so companies, professionals that will hire our graduates will always complain, say, oh, they don't know how to do things, I have to teach them to be really productive and to enter into their role, into the job. But this has been always the case. There should be a bit of giving back also from the job market in education. So if we educate perfectly our students to enter in a job position, that of course we lack in flexibility. That means that they are not able in the future. And I have to underline that we have a system that the bachelor is a 3 years bachelor, not a 4 years. So in 3 years, it's difficult to give strong groundings and specialization. So where do we have to invest our energies? This is for me, where do I have to invest my energy now, where I have invested in the recent past, but also in the next future, about new pedagogy, because our students have changed, they have different ways to learn, they have different ways to be interested in what they are learning. I'm looking to, okay. And so it's important to understand how to deal with these new learning models, new contents, because the problems that we have to face and professional designers will need to face are changing, and new skills, as I mentioned. About new pedagogy, in the recent years, Politecnico did quite a lot. It's not that we succeeded, but we started already. I provided to all the faculty members of the School of Design a training course, intensive course for active learning, in order to understand how to do active learning based on the flipped classes approach in the classrooms. And this has been interesting because we invited experts and we did some very practical exercises, because the typical argument is that how you can do active learning with big classes. Of course, all my faculty members, but also myself, I would like to teach to 10, 12 students, then you can do active learning. At Politecnico Design Studio, it's normally with 50 students. And so to teach them how to deal with an active learning process with big numbers, it was the focus of this course. And for theoretical courses, the figures, the numbers are even higher. Politecnico has provided an open MOOC, online open free course for teachers about engaging students in active learning. And we are starting some spaces that should support different ways of active learning. The first space is called EduCafe, so this idea of cafeteria and education, and this is alike. And this was a way to try to test some different technologies. So you can see that there is even too much technology, but we wanted to test and see for the future spaces which one are performing better than others. And in the future we will establish 4 new experimental learning environments in all Politecnico, one for the School of Design specifically. We have Politecnico, we as university, not myself directly, has defined and we are providing a handbook about spreading EduCafe, so about the experimentations of active learning done in this space, with hints and idea for the active classrooms. And I'm following a PhD thesis on this topic, so about how space and technologies can support the active engagement of students. About the new contents, I have to think about, so I don't have answers. For sure, I see that there is a lot of transferring activity. These are the flows of students that are enrolled in product and goes to communication or interior or fashion, enrolled in interior and they go to product communication, so they change their mind. And I think that they have the right to change their mind. We cannot ask to students that finish high school to have clear in mind what they want to become. So I didn't have a clear picture of my future, and I think that a student can go a little bit, try, test, and then decide better about his or her future. And so I would like to support this flexibility. Faculty members hate this process because, of course, it's a problem. Because they say, oh, you are transferring 10 students from product to communication. You know that I already have 48 students in the classroom and now I will get 53. Complaining. And they don't have the groundings because they missed my important course, etc. We know how is it. But probably the students, they will face their new career path in a different way because they had a different starting point. So I think, I don't know, I know that here and also in the US, a lot of different universities have a common grounding course. We don't have it because the bachelor is only 3 years, but I'm not so sure that it's correct to insert students already at the beginning in their stream, in their discipline, in their area of design. Another topic is about coding. Now they teach coding in kindergarten, in primary school, and I'm not sure. We are teaching that at the master's level. I'm not sure if it's too late. It's another way, it's also a basic skill that students probably need to have, and data handling as well. So new skills, I said, students have to have this kind of skills for each kind of job they will face. Creativity and collaboration, curiosity, critical thinking, interpretation, be able to be very good communication and visualization. I'm not sure that the tools that we are teaching to our students at Bachelor are the contemporary tools of the profession. And you are never sure, because then you teach them the contemporary tools and the grade of obsolescence, does it exist, this word in English, it's very high. And so 2 years later, they are no more updated. Faculty members are not able to be updated year after year, so it's quite a question mark. International exposure. I said international exposure, that doesn't mean that we have to send students abroad, but they have to have a little bit of connections with what's going on worldwide, even at bachelor level. Politecnico did a choice many years ago it seemed to be a revolution, that we moved all the master's classes from Italian to English. So now each master's class is taught also in English. In some cases we have a double language. But now I see that in Italy, students are going abroad at high school. They come back, and so they start to have international experience already at high school. So I'm not sure that to offer them opportunities to go abroad at master's level, it's probably too late. We have to think of interesting, for example, we have double degree programs, but only at, only at master's level. So I'm trying to think to the first double degree program at bachelor level, how it could work. At the beginning we were thinking, oh, they are too kids, they are too young, but now I understand that really the world is going in a different direction with a different rhythm. But I think that we also have to need to reinforce the local roots, so the local identity. I'm interested in looking what's going on at Parsons School of Design, at Rhode Island, at Royal College, at Elisava. I'm always curious, and I think that to deal with in an international network you can learn a lot, but also you need to strengthen the differences. Otherwise we are all offering same degrees, same experience, and then the competition, it's really a competition not based on contents. And so for our students, if we really invest also on this identity, local identity, it's even more meaningful to have an experience in Barcelona and then in Milan, because you feel that the differences in the approach towards design. The fuel of everything should be passion. So sometimes I lose to see in the eyes of my students the passion for what they are studying and what they are doing. And this is highly important. We try to inject recently some passion. thanks to a new action that is called Passion in Action at Politecnico, that are courses that are offered in addition, just not compulsory, but just for the pleasure to do them. And they are transversal for all university to do something together with engineers, with architects in their free time, and not forgetting a grade. My students are really always focused on grades and credits and grades and timing. This is to say, you can do it even with no grade, but you will get, in any case, your skills will be part of your CV, so it will be part of your diploma supplement, so there will be a trace. So we are investing in this kind of activities, and we are investing, for example, this is an example, in international student competitions for sailing, for building their cars, for building their motor, because we think that it's a way to inject them passion in any case, their field of competencies. Just a few words about our heritage, what I would like. So I would like to change something in our bachelor degree. What would I like to keep? For sure, the strong relation of Italian design to artistic culture. Even if we are based in a technical university, this is a very strong root of Italian design that we need to keep. It's not always easy to keep into a technical university humanities and artistic research, but it has played a very strong role in Italian made in Italy tradition, and I would like to keep it. Here you can see some of the. I would like to keep the experimentation and cross-fertilization approach of made in Italy. This is a Vespa used for military purposes, just to combine different functions, but this is to use a material that was used in aviation for just a chair, or this is using a technology of the pantyhose industry for a lamp of Achille Castiglioni. No, of Bruno Munari, sorry. And this is Achille Castiglioni. It's also to deal with experimentation, cross-fertilization, not only on material and technology, but also on forms, shapes. That this is something that I would like to keep. I would like to keep the focus also on product, because now it seems that everything is experience, service, intangible, but also products are part of our daily life. The beauty of objects, it's important to keep into account, even advanced products, but also to have the pleasure and the interest in experimentation, going outside the comfort zone of established typologies of products. This is a pan top designed by Achille Castiglioni, by Michele De Lucchi in 1994, combining a keyboard with a mobile phone, etc. I would like to keep this concreteness of Italian design with the idea of utopias, of vision, a little bit. I don't want students are just going into the visions and utopias, but I don't want that they keep only their focus of pure concreteness. This combination of broad ideas, broad views, and concreteness, I think I would like to keep. And I would like also to keep the focus on tangible objects, but also on intangible, on strategies, on services, on experiences. That is something that belongs to our present and to our future. So I would like a campus where theory is combined with practice, where academics teach and coach together with professional designers. A campus where humanities are combined with technology, and where reflective activities meet passion. So this is my mission, so it's to reinforce our strong Italian design roots, but also to open up to the future global challenges of education. In 2 years, I will end my role as the Dean of the School of Design, so I hope that I will come back with some results about that. Thank you very much, and welcome to Milan if you come.